Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you, please do your own research. All media used was found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings. Hello YouTube, this is Mahogany Spirit coming to you from the UK. I hope you guys are all well. Well, I'm going to be discussing Meghan Markle debacle. The Markle who left behind a racial debacle when she did reside in the UK and has now gone off to LA. Wow, look at me, I'm actually rhyming this all. Well, as you know, she's living in LA and we all know what's going on over there. I doubt very much whether Meghan is feeling safe and protected there. You know, we can all see the uprisings, we can all see what's going on with the protests. It's all kicking off, isn't it? So if you cast your mind back to when Meghan did actually reside in the UK, there was loads of allegations swirling around that Meghan was experiencing extreme racism. Harry needed to protect her. In fact, that's what he stated, he needed to protect her. You know, they felt that they were at risks of terrorist attempts and all sorts going on while they was residing in the palace. Or should I say the castle. So, if we can go back, I'll just refresh your memories on some of the things that they did actually say. Traumatised. They were terribly upset, the pair of them. And Meghan felt extremely traumatised. It has been stated when she read in a certain particular newspaper article that she had been described as exotic. She was also upset about the fact that another newspaper article had written that she came from Compton. Okay. Because that would suggest that then she was related to gang members and so on and so on. And I don't think the British public really thought anything of it, to be quite honest. I don't even recall actually reading any of the press regarding Meghan Markle and her background at that time. I was too busy being really happy, getting on with going to work and just being really happy about the fact that Harry had finally found love with a biracial woman, and that was that. But we all know, you know, her ethnicity, she is biracial. A big deal was made of it because she kind of like was the first person to marry into the royal family who did have the type of coloured background that she had. A divorcee, biracial, in the royal fold, so to speak, not British, American. It was all just, it was kind of like, you know, this new essence coming into the royal family. That's the only way I could really describe it. And people really excited about it. I don't really think they really thought about her race as such, because she doesn't really look Afro-Caribbean when you really think about it. She just doesn't. And that's the couple themselves. They really did bring a lot of attention to Meghan's ethnicity. And then when she got married, Doria was the only one present at the wedding. Well, obviously Doria definitely looks black. She rolled up with her dreadlocks and, you know, she was seated right at the front and she watched her daughter get married. You know, all the while you had Thomas Markle, Samantha Markle and the whole Markle family, those that were given a platform to speak, just basically bashing Meghan and saying that, you know, she should really contact her father because he's had a heart attack, and how they've been frozen out and they just really wasn't sure why they had been frozen out. And there was all of this stuff going on with Thomas Markle, you know, having the stage pictures which he claimed he'd done to make himself look better because he was extremely overweight. And it just went on and on and on. And it kind of carried on way after she had even tied the knot. And then you had the hypocrisy of Meghan and Harry telling everyone to be careful of their carbon footprint while jumping on and off of jets and jetting basically all over the world, you know. First and foremost, they done their royal duties. Obviously, they went to New Zealand. And then they went off to South Africa, where Meghan and Harry famously stood there and told the world that basically they're extremely unhappy being in the royal fold. Harry made suggestions that he was not getting on with his brother, and then went on to say that every camera and every flash takes him back to when his mother unfortunately passed away. Meghan stood there and done the woeful, doe-eyed, no one's asking me if I'm okay. And this was all done in the backdrop of an extremely deprived part of South Africa. These interviews literally took place days after. So he was walking through landmines and reminding us of all the good work that his mother, Princess Diana, had done. And then a few days later, he was talking about the media, the press, and how angry he was after getting glowing coverage of his whole trip to South Africa along with his wife. And not to mention the fact that prior to all of that, we had the issue of Meghan saying she's not standing on the steps with baby Archie. She's not doing the traditional christening pictures because Archie's not going to be a royal. He's not got a title. So therefore she doesn't see why she needs to stand on the steps. So all of this was going on. And then Harry said he felt he had to protect his wife. And they had literally decided to step down from royal duty. But like I said, this is really, I'm just kind of skimming over it at this point. We're now at a point where they have gone to LA. They went from Vancouver, as I stated in an earlier video, to LA. So they're now in the heart of LA where they have extreme rioting going on. These two royals or rogue royals or ex-royals or just Harry and Meghan, whichever way you want to say it or put it, because I have been told not to call them royals, but it's hard to kind of divorce the fact that Harry is actually of the bloodline of the royal family, are now living in the Beverly Hills LA mansion of Tyler Perry amidst all this rioting. They haven't even released a statement. I mean, they're no longer representing the royal family, but they haven't released a statement with regards to what's happened with George Floyd. They've said absolutely nothing. They've made no statements as such at all, which I find really hypocritical, considering Meghan made such a fuss when she was in the UK. She made the UK, the British taxpaying UKs, feel like they were all a bunch of bigots and racists, which we're not. I, for one, don't think that the UK is perfect. I'm not suggesting that racism doesn't exist. But what I am saying is we're not all a bunch of bigots and racists, which is what Meghan really did suggest. Now she's gone to LA and look at what we have going on there. We have rioting in the streets and Meghan and Harry haven't made one statement whatsoever. Not one statement. It was the same with regards to the BAFTAs. They never came out and made a statement, even though Joaquin Phoenix made a statement with regards to the BAFTAs and the lack of opportunity and the lack of diversity. Why didn't Meghan and Harry, since they're so impassioned about, you know, the black issue, and Meghan feels so strongly about it, why isn't she making a statement? I tell you why she's not making a statement. Because she's chosen to ignore that issue now, because now she's not black. She's now Caucasian. She's gone back to being Caucasian. You see, with Meghan, she, 1 minute when it suits her, she's black. Then the next, she's Caucasian. You know, that's the luxury she has. She has the luxury of straddling both sides of the fence when she feels like it. So it doesn't serve her now to talk about racial issues while she goes around making contacts with billionaires, not just billionaires, trillionaires, and trying to solidify deals in LA or global, because her and her partner Harry will be needing that money. You know, she's been talking to bigwigs like Goldman Sachs and so on and so on about speeches that she'd like to make in the future. It doesn't serve her to be talking about being black at this moment in time. You know, she's got everything she needs from playing the black card. She's in Tyler Perry's mansion. She's got the book deal that's gone through with Scooby. She's got a doc coming out with Oprah. I don't know who's really going to be watching it after all of this. I mean, we literally are being bombarded. One, with the COVID. Secondly, we've now got the race riots going on in America. It has allegedly covered, or apparently, it has apparently covered 50 states of America. You've got Trump talking about when the looting starts, the shooting starts. You've just got, they're just in a land filled with complete and utter chaos. And at the heart of it is baby Archie. You've got Meghan desperately trying to grab headlines and Harry talking about the security. It has been stated that they're now paying for extra security, which is, I believe, costing the taxpayer £7,000 a day. They're saying it's not, and apparently it's Ronald Reagan's ex-security that they're actually using. So all of this has been released via their camp, and this is where they're at with it. They've got baby Archie, like I said in the previous video, in that mansion. You've got a raging LA riot going on. It's not just in LA, it's in fact covering the whole of the United States. Shops being looted, a president that really doesn't have much control over what's going on. You've got the National Guard being called in. Harry and Meghan still very much in LA. They left the UK saying it wasn't safe. They felt exposed to racism. They pulled out the race card to suit their narrative. Purely to suit their narrative. It was purely because they wanted to leave the royal family. Once the mission was complete and they achieved what they wanted, they tucked that race card back in. We'll save that for another day. That's Meghan and Harry's ethos. We'll pull that out when we need that one. And they're in LA, Beverly Hills, talking to trillionaires now. You know, they're not even looking at black issues. She hasn't released a statement. Harry hasn't released a statement on what's going on in LA. You'd think that they would. Various other celebrities have. They haven't, because that's the level that they want to be on now. They haven't released that statement. Oh no, they're too busy putting black sheets up at the window, talking about the drones that are allegedly flying overhead and the unmarked cars that are following them. I don't know how that's happening. Like I said, that's all alleged, and you know. And this is where it's at. Anyway, guys, till the next time, stay safe. Bye.